friends, and welcome back to my channel, where we are currently in the midst of Vlogtober. So essentially what I'm doing there is every week I will compile different vlogs throughout the week and then come back to you with an update about different things that I accomplished or am planning to accomplish, and just some other random things like maybe books I'm reading, movies I'm watching, all that jazz. So without further ado, let's kick off with what I've been working on. In really positive news, I have finally finished my Wizardy socks in the witchy colorway / sock set from Homespun House. I think I have mentioned a couple times now that this was the Patreon only sock set that we got in August. So I think we got it maybe at like the end of September, but it was the August colorway just because of the way time works. But yeah, this is what it was, and it has pinks and oranges and purples in it. And the contrast color is this beautiful dark gray with more than a hint of stellina in there. So it's nice and sparkly as well. And I don't know, I really love them. I did go through another phase where I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough yarn. And I know I keep mentioning this over and over again about the Patreon sock sets that we get. I still really love them. Obviously, I can still make socks, but it is kind of an excitement killer when you feel like you're always playing yarn chicken. At least they are done. I am glad to have them off my needles, and I do really enjoy the way that they turned out. So honestly, I can't complain too much since they do fit me. There is enough yarn as long as I don't do a massive leg. I just feel like it's important that people are aware of the alterations they might have to make to their usual socks. Like, for example, on the rib, I can only do 10 rows of ribbing if I want to make sure I have enough of the contrast color to finish the toes in the same way. So just FYI. I think that's the only thing that I finished. So let's talk about works in progress. I am finally caught up on my granny stripe blanket. So this is also from the Homespun House Patreon subscription. So I have the subscription where you get the monthly sock sets and you also get 3 minis. So I have been subscribed since January. And I'm just looking to see if I have any other minis laying around, because I think this is everything and I'm finally caught up. But I guess we'll see when I go digging later. But I really wanted to do something with the minis because they were just sitting there floating around, and I'm getting so many more advents this year and I have so many other minis that I just wanted to finally do something with them and get them off the shelf. So I started making this granny stripe blanket with just my Homespun House minis, and I love the way that it's coming out. It is so soft. When I say it's squishy, I mean it. It is so squishy, and it's going to be really, really, really wonderful when it's done, I think. Super colorful, of course, which is the entire point. And it's a really easy granny stripe. I'm just using one from, I think it was Attic 24 was like the basic recipe, but like you can figure it out. It's not that hard. And this is what I have been working on when work really stresses me out at night. And I don't want to work on Christmas gifts for other people, which is, it's getting to that point in the year where I'm kind of like tired with the obligation knitting, even though like nobody's told me that I need to do stuff. I feel like they expect it of me. So when I need a break from the obligation knitting and work is stressing me out, I just sit and work on this for a couple hours. So that being said, I hope more minis come soon because I am real stressed out and I could 100% absolutely use more to work on here. Yeah, it is so lovely and so fun to work on. Cannot recommend it enough. Then the only other, I guess, big project I'm working on, other than some towel toppers, which I'll get into in the vlog, are a second set of Sockoween socks in my Grim Grinning Ghosts colorway from 3 by the Sea. designs, and it was a mystery colorway, so you pre-ordered it and you didn't know what you were going to get. You just knew that it was Haunted Mansion themed, right? So this is what it is. This is, of course, the contrasting color. Duh. And then I'm also using the Wizardy sock pattern from K. Jones on these socks as well. We were traveling this weekend and I didn't feel like finding another pattern, and I found this one to be really enjoyable on my other socks. So I just kept going with it for these, and I'm really liking the way that it's coming out. I'm not even sure if the colors are going to show up as nicely as they do in person, but it's got blues and blacks and purples and greens. I was originally going to make these to like kill two birds with one stone. So one, make them for Sockoween, but then also as a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law. I don't know if I'm going to give them away now. Scott was like, it's your Halloween yarn. You love your Halloween yarn. You love your Christmas yarns. Those are for you. Make her something else. And not that I need more gifts to knit at this point, but I think I'm going to use a different 3 by the Sea Designs sock set that I have for her and keep these for me, because he's right. I did get the Halloween yarns for me. I love Halloween. This shirt, by the way, is from Lolo Did It. It says Yarnoween on it, and it just came in the mail the other day. I bought it last week. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's really cute. So I think I am going to keep these for myself, and she'll get something else. And I do think the other yarn that I'm going to use for her socks is more her style anyway. But as usual, Scott is right. And I did buy this yarn for me, and Halloween is my thing. Something else I bought for me were Beetlejuice Progress Keepers from Charmed and Dangerous. So I'm using Lydia. Beetlejuice is not an inside joke, but kind of like an inside thing with Scott and me. Our first Halloween together, he went as Beetlejuice and I went as Lydia. And so Beetlejuice is kind of a thing for us, if you will. So when I saw that she came out with Beetlejuice and Lydia stitch markers and Progress Keepers, I indulged. And so I'm using her on my Grim Grin and Go socks, and I love her. She's my new little buddy. That is it for stuff that I am working on. So why don't we take a break and head right into my Vlogtober vlog for the week, and then we'll come back and talk about acquisitions. As with every morning, it is only appropriate to start your day with a bunch of caffeine and a nice candle. I think I got this candle in one of my advents last year. I want to say it was the Ruby and Roses one, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, it's a really nice way to help me relax in a crazy, crazy work day. My Fangirl Fibers Haunted Mansion Mini was this gorgeous, gorgeous green color, and I think I've been mentioning this, but green is not usually my style, but when it is these bold, rich greens, they, for whatever reason, speak to me, and I'm really loving it. I've been continuing to plug away on my Sockoween Witchy socks, and on this day I had made it to the heel at least of the second sock, and honestly it just feels like these are taking forever at this point because I am only working on them in the mornings before work. A lot of people get knitting done during their meetings during the day. I am not lucky enough to do that. I am leading most of the meetings, and so yeah, life is pretty terrible. What you making?
I already made it.
What'd you make?
That's good.
On the smoker?
Yep.
Are you gonna give me some?
Nope.
Yeah, you are.
Nope.
Don't lie.
That's good for Papa.
It is that wonderful time of the month where I work on Knitability, whether that be writing and sending out interview questions, lining up future interviews, any design and editing things that might come my way when it's time to launch a new issue. So Scott and I put on Nightmare before Christmas, and I got a little work done on Knitability today, and it was nice. It was relaxing. Sadly, Wednesday was pretty unmemorable, I guess you could say. I was able to, of course, open my Fangirl Fibers. Minnie Trixie joined me along in this effort, as I'm sure you're used to seeing her come and play with us while we open our yarns, and it was another beautiful one. And like I keep saying, I think Scott is going to eventually steal these from me because they are so pretty. But I really need to figure out what to do with them because they go together so well. Relatedly, and in a similar colorway, I decided to cake up my 3 by the Sea Grim Grinning Ghosts colorway because we are going to a wedding, and I wanted to make sure that I had this already caked up as backup for in case I finished my Wizardry socks with the Homespun House yarn that I keep showing off. And I don't know, I really like my ball winder and Swift, but I am having so much user error with it, and I keep seeing other people with similar ones saying that they also have user error, and I keep seeing that it has to do with the way the coil is pointing toward the cake, which mine is 100%, but still an issue. Anyway, that's literally all I did on Wednesday. Thursday was at least slightly more eventful. It gets really hard when you're in like 8 to 9 hours of meetings every day, but at least I got to start my day off by playing with Mowgli. I had seen an advertisement on Instagram for the Kit Knit box, and there was a little black cat on the ad who looked so derpy that I, at the very least, had to subscribe for the Halloween box. And this is one of the toys that came with it. Outside of the catnip alone, he really loves this one. It's a little ghosty, and it's his favorite. I'm getting to the point where A, I think Trixie just really wants to knit, and B, I'm learning that there are so many colors of blue that you can dye yarn. Another really beautiful one that fits with the theme that I am excited to figure out how to work in. I also really like this coffee frap smoothie from Splendid Spoon. I know I've introduced them to you before, but on days that Scott works, that's what I drink for breakfast. And they're actually pretty filling. On this day in particular, I was in the kitchen shaking it up, and the sun was just coming in, and it put me in such a good autumn mood that I had to record what was happening. I know I think I talked in my last vlog about how I'm a member of the Feminist Book Club, and we just got our October book, I guess technically yesterday, but I didn't open the package until today. And I'm really excited about this one. This one has been on my wish list for a pretty long time, I guess. And I have always meant to read it, and it was one of the 2 Feminist Book Club choices, not really choices, this month. You can choose fiction or nonfiction as your preference, and they'll send you one or the other. And this is the one that I got, and I am really excited. Essentially, it's called, well, it is called In Defense of Witches, The Legacy of the Witch Hunts and Why Women Are Still on Trial. And it is about, you know, basically just existing as a woman in this world. And something that I like is that you always get a personal note from someone on the staff. So this is actually from Renee, the founder, and I think that's really cute and I like it. And then we also get some information about upcoming events and things like that. And sometimes we get a little treat. And this one is a scratch off to identify our intergalactic feline fortune. And I mean, I'm absolutely going to do that. Anyway, yeah, if you guys are interested in checking out Feminist Book Club, I highly recommend it. I was going to read another book to round out the month as soon as I'm done with The Only One Left, and I think I might read this instead. I am in a bit of a nonfiction mood. I guess it depends if I want to keep charging forward with my Book of the Month books to reach their annual challenge. I don't know yet. It's probably going to end up being this. With the slightly chilly autumn nights coming back into play, I have been in a tea mood, as you can tell by all of the mess on the counter, because I can't make tea like a normal person. This one in particular is a banana nut bread tea from David's Tea that I have really been enjoying, although I don't think I'm making it correctly because it's not potent enough, but it does smell so good. As I've been working on my granny stripe blankets at night as a way to relax after a long work day, I have been turning to YouTube. I have explained before that I'm really into Grim Life Collective, so I have been catching up on all of their adventures over in Europe. Really exciting. But then I also checked in on Emmett in the Moment, who finally covered the Stephen West incident, and I'll leave it to you to watch it if you want some good coverage about what's been going on. Friday the 13th be Friday the 13th in. I woke up this morning and sat down to knit. We heard a big boom and all of a sudden the power went out. So I ended up scrambling to try and get to my in-laws so I could actually do work for the day. The joys of working from home, I guess. But before we did that, I opened up this beautiful yarn from my Fangirl Fibers Haunted Mansion Halloween doohickey, and I don't know, I got really excited about this because as much as I'm loving all of the yarns, this one had purple in it, and you know how I feel about my pinks and purples. Last year for Halloween, I got this Autumn Lane Stitchery Halloween box. Not this one specifically, but a different one. And I loved it so much that I jumped at the opportunity to get this year's. And I think you're going to find out why. I have no idea what's in this, but if it's anything like last year's, it's going to be really amazing. So I thought you could join me on this journey, as they say on The Bachelor, and we can see what goodies are in store for us this Halloween. So first of all, we get this sheet with some information that I'm not going to share too many details about because there is an exclusive QR code. Don't want to share that out, and also maybe some other information that, again, exclusive to people who purchase this box. So here we are. This is actually the last thing on the list, but the first thing I noticed, so we're going to pick it up first. This is this hand shielding lotion, and holy crap, do I need this, especially as the winter comes, and being both a knitter and crocheter and cross stitcher, this is going to be really useful. The description on the sheet says that it is the best stitcher's lotion on the planet, and you can use it while you're stitching. And it's actually what Erin and Cassandra use. Well, I guess Cassandra uses when she is stitching. So honestly excited about that. My hands get so dry in the winter time. Well, from now until the end of winter, it's going to be kind of terrible. So very cool. Rick rack out the wazoo. You know, it's funny. I was just telling Scott that we needed one of these for something else that we have to mount some art prints that we got actually at that Festival of the Witch we went to last week. And now I have one, although I think it's going to be used for something in here, but I definitely need more because they're so stinking useful. Oh my goodness, look at this. This is the evening stroll pattern and kit, so it looks like you get everything. Oh, this is very reminiscent of Mill Hill, I'm not gonna lie. You get your beads, you get your flosses, and there's the pattern inside, and you get the, it looks like the perforated paper. So again, like I said, very reminiscent of a Mill Hill kit, and holy crap, I need to take this with me to the wedding this weekend and stitch it up immediately because it's kind of amazing. And then this, if you saw on the kit, this is the frame that goes with the kit. I think it is very cool. Some of the, well, I guess a big reason that I really liked the kits that I got last year is that you get these custom wood pieces. They are made out of wood. They're not sort of wood. That looks really cool. Then of course it's not a cross stitch kit without a needle minder. So here we have Camp Crystal Lake with a crow and a moon. Very cool. I love these little wooden needle minders. Use them all the time. I lose my needles constantly without them. This is an art print from Erin, and I think I upgraded to get the signed copy, so it is what it is. I can't remember when, but I'm so glad I did, because here we have our little witch and her little familiar, and if this isn't Mowgli and me, then I don't know what is. I absolutely adore this print, so I'm gonna have to get it framed and hang it up. It is so beautiful. Here is another pattern. It says Trick or Treat, and you know what, I've been really enjoying these word centric patterns lately. I'm not sure what it is, but I've made a couple of them now and I don't dislike them. I think a lot of people do, because you're working with one color a lot of the time and it can get very block heavy, if you will, but I really like them, and they always have such a really nice way of doing the shading and making the colors pop, and the combinations of the colors and the design are really cute, and I don't know, I love it. Here's another cool one. You guys, I can't get enough. Okay, so this must be, you know, if I would read the letter, I would have found out that this is a more intricate version of this pattern, which is called Dance Party. And here we have our witch again with her little cat, and then this gorgeous, just detailed background. Look at the tree, look at the jack-o'-lanterns hanging off the tree. I want to make all of this yesterday. How do I get more time in my day? Oh, this is beautiful too. Kitties. This one's called Witch's Hallow, and it's so cool. Last year they did a pattern that was also a little Halloween village with like trick-or-treaters and stuff, and this one looks like it's, you know, haunted house themed with witches. I feel like the theme for this box might have been like uber witchy. I love all these patterns. There is a reason, I told you, there was a reason that I get these on a recurring basis, because I also got the Christmas one last year, and if they do a Christmas one this year, I'm probably getting it too. So that is that. Apparently, now that I've read the letter, I have discovered that they did 4 different needle minders, and so we all got a different one, and you can go online and see what the other ones were, and if you'd like, you can purchase the other ones as well, which I think is really cool. But I don't know, I'm kind of curious to see what the other ones were, but I do really like this one, and I cannot wait to make this. So cool. So that was this year's Halloween box from Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I'm looking forward to digging in when I get, you know, an hour of free time. Never. Speaking of free time, I'm very quickly learning that it's something that you make time for in the time that you have. We had about an hour's drive on Friday after I got done with work to a wedding that we were going to for the weekend, and I was on a tear to get these first Sockoween socks done. I'm so tired of working on them, even though I really like them, so I brought them in the car with me and played passenger princess the entire way down. Since we left as soon as my meetings were over around 6 o'clock, we didn't get a chance to eat dinner. So once we checked into our hotel, we bounced over to this nearby diner where I got my usual turkey club and all that jazz. It's my favorite meal. So that was it for the night. We were tired, so we just went to bed. The next morning, the day of the wedding, I woke up and knew I was in trouble because my allergies were just raging. I woke up sniffly, my eyes were watering, I couldn't stop sneezing. So the first thing that I did was heavily medicate. But first, before we get into our day, let's talk about this beautiful yarn that I opened for the day. It is this gorgeous, I don't know, teal. It's maybe more teal than it is like the aqua / turquoise that I usually gravitate toward, but it is so rich and gorgeous, and I love it. Next day, walking to breakfast. It's freezing. Yeah, so the first thing you're going to want to do if you heavily medicate for allergies is fill your stomach up. Then the second thing you're going to want to do is fill out your tarot journal so that you put good juju out into the world and figure out how your day is going to go. But seriously, I have not really been keeping up with my ritual planner. As some of you may know, I use tarot for mindful journaling and kind of guiding my day, giving me something to think about as I go through my day and how I approach situations. Do I think they tell the future? No. We have been through this a million times, so I'm not getting into that at all. But I did bring them with me on this trip because I am trying to get better at, doing what I want to do. As you can see, I ended up pulling the Fool, which I thought was an interesting draw, and I don't know, I guess we'll see where that takes me. The whole point of the journal is to log your draws and try to interpret the message the cards might be sending you. So I try to do that, on the days where I have time and remember, trying to do it more, of course. But like I said, the Fool was an interesting draw. I kind of enjoyed it, to be honest. We can't forget the role that knitting plays in sitting in bed recovering from an allergy attack. So I pulled out my Yarnoween socks and sat back to enjoy knitting to and working on the toe, and I am excited to say that I did finally finish these puppies while we were in the hotel room. So I am so glad to finally have them off the needles. They look amazing. The sparkle in the contrast yarn is so awesome, and I don't understand the lighting in the hotel, but for whatever reason it really helped pick up the sparkle in the yarn and just made it look really, really, really great. So I'm so happy with the way that these turned out, and again, just honestly happy to have them off the needles. But we all know that as soon as one pair of socks is done, it's time to start the next. So I cast on my Grim Grinning Ghost socks from 3 by the Sea Designs and used my new Lydia stitch marker from Charmed and Dangerous to get another pair of Yarnoween socks going. At that point, it was time to get ready and head out for wedding shenanigans. So I think it goes without saying that we got a little busy and I forgot to film anything. But here are a couple pictures from the day that I think you'll enjoy. The bride actually is a potter. She throws pottery, so the ornaments are little gifts that she made for everybody who came, and I think they are really, really cool. Sunday, we decided to make just our chill day for the week. After a busy weekend and a busy week that preceded it, we just kind of wanted to come home and chill. Something that awaited me when we got there was, of course, my Haunted Mansion yarn, which was Madame Leota, and I was so excited because I do love me some Madame Leota, and the color is perfect for her. I really love the teals with the bright neon greens, and it just makes me really, really happy. Another day, another ride in the Jeep being passenger princess. I was able to continue knitting on my Grim Grinning Ghost socks that I had started before the wedding, of course, with my little Lydia stitch marker that I really enjoy. And I didn't make too much progress. I hadn't gotten much sleep, so I just kind of sat in the Jeep and zoned out for a bulk of the ride. But it was nice to get away from the cuff. I think I finished the cuff and had started the actual body of the sock by the time I gave up and just passed out. I'm not really one to question why and when I get inspired by things. So I'll just say that lately I have been jonesing to get started on making more towel toppers. I decided a long time ago that I was going to make a bunch of towels for my family for Christmas. Well, towel toppers anyway. And I had gotten these Halloween decorative towels for us. So I haven't made them in a while, and I decided it was time to practice on making our towels and figuring it out from there. I worked on them and finished 2 towels while binge watching The Fall of the House of Usher, which is a really good series by Michael Flanagan of Haunting of Hill House fame, if you will. And I think the towels are coming out pretty well. For as much as I like this Lion brand 24/7 cotton, I still despise working with cotton. But I did have a good time again watching Grim Life while I worked on these projects. They went to the Warner Brothers studios in London and did this whole Harry Potter situation, which I have mixed feelings about Harry Potter, but it was still cool. I mean, you can't deny it. But I did eventually get tired of working on the towels and instead switched to my Grim Grinning Ghost socks from 3 by the Sea Designs. Again, still binge watching Fall of the House of Usher. I think we got through like 4 or 5 episodes and it was great. Truly the highlight of my day and every day, though, is when I am able to sit down and craft with the doggos. And, you know, Mowgli comes down sometimes too. Nelson never does. But Trixie wanted to be held like a baby while I was crafting. And honestly, it was a really good Sunday night. Nothing like starting a fresh new week after getting well rested in a hotel without the dogs to jump on your face at 3 a.m. Yes, that is how we wake up most mornings. But anyway, it was really nice to be able to wake up and actually be awake and then enjoy my Haunted Mansion mini today, which was the Tightrope Girl, and I'm super excited about this one. This is one of my favorite paintings from the Haunted Mansion, and the colors are just really, really fun. I'm also really excited because on the 18th, I get to start opening my Little Wolf Edward Scissorhands yarn for 13 days. So that's coming down the pipes. And it is also time for my Christmas advents to start getting delivered. So here is my David's Tea Advent for this year. If you remember last year's Vlogmas, I opened one every day, and I got a different one this year and can't wait for it. My meetings today ended around 5:30, but then because a bunch of people asked if I could meet quickly for 15 minutes at the same time after I was done, I didn't finish working until more like 6, which is actually a good day. I got out early. So I spent the rest of the night. Scott and I continued watching The Fall of the House of Usher while I worked on these towels again. I have decided to work on one towel or finish a towel every single night leading up to Christmas. It only takes about a half hour. So given that speed, I should be able to finish everyone's gifts in time for the holidays. So I think we're going to make it. I'm still practicing on these Halloween towels with varying levels of success. I mean, they are super, super cheap towels, but at the same time, they're pretty cute. So that was the end of my Monday, and that is the end of this Vlogtober. Welcome back from Vlogtober. What did you guys think about week 3? Again, didn't do too much because all I do is work anymore. That is my life. But I think some interesting things were thrown in there. And if nothing else, I have proof that we can clean up when necessary. But yeah, like I said, why don't we head into some acquisitions and just random other things that I have been up to the past week. So I got this Halloween sock set from Homespun House. This is the Wicked Witch sock set, and you'll immediately see why I had to get it. It is very classic Halloween. I don't even know if I want to say it's classic Halloween because I really feel like the purples are more modern. If you go back to what I would consider like mid-century modern / classic Halloween, it's all orange, blacks, maybe a couple greens. The purple, I think, is only something that's popped up in maybe the past 15, 20 years maybe. And I really like it, don't get me wrong, but it's not what I would consider like classic Halloween. So that was a tangent that nobody needed. Anyway, this is beautiful. The main skein is kind of like mostly gray with a lot of purple and hints of pinks and oranges, which is absolutely lovely. And then you get the 3 contrast minis of a purple, a beautiful orange. I'm not a big orange fan, but this is very autumnal and I love it. And then this green. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I use all of these minis. I'm one of these people, and Nitty Natty has talked about this before, where you don't have to use the minis that come in your sock sets. And then there's me where I'm like, no, I absolutely have to figure this out. Like, it's a thing. I don't know what I am, but it's a problem. So I need to figure this out. I mean, these 2 are definitely getting used. This might be really cute on like the heel or something, or combining it with one of these other 2 colors on the heel with like the slip stitch patterning or something like that. So that's really pretty. Super excited. Then while I was there and paying for shipping from Germany, I also bought this Lover woolly sock set. And this one is really gorgeous too. I mean, all of her colorways are gorgeous, right? Like, we don't have to argue that. But it has kind of like an ivory base and then a lot of greens, pinks, aquas, and it just speckles everywhere. And then these are the 2 contrasting minis, and I really like them. I like these 2 colors together a lot of the time too. They're just so rich and vibrant that how could you not? So I really love this sock set together. Again, because I'm a completionist, I'm going to have to figure out how to use everything together and what I want that to look like, but I'll figure it out. I have faith in myself. Then I also got this month's Super Glow Fiber Tarot Glow subscription, and this month the inspiration was the moon. If you're not aware, she is doing a Lisa Frank tarot card inspired monthly subscription for 2023. So we're almost done. But every month she pulls a card and makes a colorway inspired by that card. So this is the moon, which is one of my favorite cards actually, just like in general, not even just this one with all the puppies. Of course I want puppies, but I like moons. And this is the yarn she dyed up inspired by the card. And this might be my favorite one to date. I know she's done a lot of pinks, and then she had that neon purple that I absolutely loved, but there is something about this that makes me just real excited for it. So we'll see what I make it out of. It is DK, so maybe I'll do like a hat or something like that, or I'll do like a thicker pair of socks or something. And then finally, because I have now run out of acquisitions and also I have to get back to work, I have this Ruby and Roses sock set that I am just in love with. It is not my usual colors at all, but when I saw this combination together, I needed it. This is her Whispering Pines and Candlewick sock set, and it is so pretty. She and Molly at a Homespun house have a very similar eye for color, I feel, and so if there's something that I can't get from one, I know I can get it from the other, or I'm just going to end up buying all of their stuff anyway, so it's fine. But this is beautiful. So the main colorway is very green, but has so many other speckles on it that it's not like green heavy. And then this purple brings in, there are some very small speckles of this purple in the main colorway. And so by bringing in this little one, it brings them out a little bit more. And I just think it's very, I want to say neutral, but I know it's not neutral. But for me, this is more of a neutral palette, if you will. It's not obnoxiously pink like me. So it's a little bit more not even subdued. It's just different for me. It's very different for me, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to get away from the same color palette over and over and over again and expand my horizons, and Ruby and Roses is helping me do that with a lot of her color combinations, which I appreciate. So it's allowing me to experiment with other things. I also want to take a quick minute to show off some cross stitch kits that I got from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which is, you know, I'm a little bit obsessed with them. So I got this autumn seasonal cross stitch. I think I have spring and summer so far. So when autumn came out, I needed it in my life, and it is so cute. Something that I like about their patterns is that they are not so in-depth that you know it's going to take 9 years. You can pump these out pretty quick. So if I sat down for a weekend, I could probably get this done if I really wanted to, and it's just really pretty. Then they are having their next stitching social next month, and I have done all of them, and this is the last one that they're doing in their shop series. So I figured I might as well just do this one too. So this one is a Christmas bookshop, and it is really cute. I want to say my stitching social is at the end of November, like right after Thanksgiving. So what you do is you show up with your pattern, you join for 2 hours, and there is some trivia, there is just general socialization, and it's really cute. And you also get this exclusive needle minder, although now I have 2 of them because I've done a couple of these now. But I think they're really cute, and honestly, I don't think you can ever have enough needle minders. But yeah, it's an exclusive little thing, and I got the class with Sally, who is the owner and founder of Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So really excited for that, to interact with her and hang out with people and, you know, just take a breather. And then finally, this is the pattern that came in the latest subscription box that I got. It also came with some other fun seasonal things like hot chocolate, the whole shebang, and fabric to finish this off with. But last year they did a really cute word themed, I think it said all is bright, and there were Christmas lights floating around, and I loved it. This year it's season's greetings, and I love it as well. I think I mentioned earlier that I really enjoy the word cross stitches these days. Not really sure what it is, if it's just that it's kind of mindless in a way, but I think they look so pretty. And I like the colors on this because it's a little bit different. It's like red and blue. I mean, of course, green's on there too, but our Christmas colors are like pastel pink and teal. So it works. So yeah, I just wanted to show those off really quick because I do think they're cute. I love Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and I will be doing their Advent again this year when it comes time for Vlogmas. So stay tuned for that. That is everything for now. I am still reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager, but I'm almost done. I got a little bit behind this weekend because of the wedding, so instead of reading my book, I listened to the 4th book of the Vampire Knitting Club, which I'm also almost done with. And then after I'm done with that book, I'll start the 5th audiobook of that. And when I'm done with The Only One Left, I will be starting my Feminist Book Club book for this month, which I'm super excited about. And that's about everything. Aside from work being crazy, there is a lot to look forward to and be thankful for. So I am really happy that I still have my friends and family after the past few months of just absolute insanity on the work front. And yeah, and coffee. Coffee is needed. This week, I'm sure you'll see in the next vlog, I will be focused on getting the latest issue of Knitability out. I'm going to go see a movie with one of my knitting friends. I'm getting dinner with one of my best friends, and Scott and I, our anniversary is next Monday, the 23rd. But due to our schedules and the restaurant we want to eat at, we'll be celebrating it this Thursday. So stay tuned for all of that. Really excited, and I am so glad you joined me today. If you liked what you saw, at all, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will respond to you in the comments. So otherwise, I will see you over on Instagram and we'll talk next week. Bye.